In good news for Cardi B, her gynecologist testified that he never saw the rapper hit her security guard. It was just an epic yelling match. The fact that you're having an epic yelling match with the staff in front of your gynecologist, what was going on in the stirrups? You're that busy where you getting a pap smear and still got time to scream? In the stirrups? Luis Guzman was asked to describe JLo in one word, and he said, okay. I think that's an accurate and an apt description. Everybody says this heifer really acted in that new movie. And she was all right in The Cell and enough, but everything else is okay. And so when you only have a body of work with a true few standouts, and other than that, it's just black women's vocals and rom-coms, I'd call you okay too. Wendy Williams does not want to return to television, but does want to do speaking engagements about the horrors of the guardianship system. I think you should talk about drugs and alcohol, because if anything will get people off, it's that. It's you got to quit before it's too late. It's 20-something years of cocaine use while you're cooking crack in the house and shutting the blinds on your friendships. That's what you should warn people against, because that guardianship system is bad. Don't get me wrong, but let's talk about what got us here. Scrappy's daughter, E-Money, does not want to talk about the BAM. Don't ask me about that lady, she says in interview. I mean, why would anybody ask her about Scrappy's latest, well, actually not latest floozy, cast-off floozy. I mean, he married her to hurt Erica Dixon, and that's why Bambi is single and alone with that drunken fool, Rayface. You married him to try to prove a point to VH1. And also, you married him to stay on the show. Now, that's sad. And he didn't even buy you a house, but remained a louse. And then you run and get with Rayface, a lesser version of Scrap. You're full of crap. Fifth Harmony is back, minus Camila Cabello. And they want to say, don't call it a comeback. I can't stand when people say don't call it a comeback. You ain't been on the charts in forever. It's a comeback. It's a comeback. And we're lucky, and you need to be lucky that we've invited you back. You need to be grateful that somebody want to hear from your ass. You could be tomorrow and just have to shelve your shit. Now, Brittany Renner, I thought you weren't cool with your mama, but your mama out here cussing out your baby daddy, accusing him of giving his hoe, aka wife, $170,000 while only putting $11,000 in his son's bank account. Well, Brittany, you're only going to get child support. The wife will always get more. Brittany, you're not the wife. And you were just married to Kevin Gates. So why would your baby daddy be breaking you off when you another woman's wife? Well, another man's divorcee. Rihanna is a lie. She looks back at 20 years in the music industry, not when you ain't come out with an album in 10. Not when you ain't done nothing but Smurfs music. You left the music industry 10 years ago to become the Avon lady. And that's fine. You making money with Avon. You on your Mary Kay on the freeway of love in a pink Cadillac. And that's fine. That is fine. But celebrate 10 years of music and 10 years of makeup. Don't be saying I did 20 years in the music industry. That is a lie. Pink Cadillac. Dwight Howard and Amy Luciani try it again. Maybe Amy upped her strap game. Maybe she said, you know what? I ain't gonna make him big for me to peg. And if you can go on and get them legs up. I know he like a leg up and a pointed toe, honey. If you can make that good snapping turtle happy, child, have at it. But you got to tend to that snapping turtle. That turtle. Woo, you know when they get on their back, honey, on that shell, honey, you want to get that turtle. Porsha and Simon are at it again. So Porsha wants Simon to give up his interest in the home to satisfy the deep debt that he's in for maintaining the home. Now, he owes her to the tune of $700,000, and I don't know how much equity he has in that home. How big was the mortgage? But she wants his interest in the house since he's already fallen behind in alimony and palimony. Well, he ain't your pal, so he ain't gonna pay you. It'll be interesting to see how it shakes out. Wherever he left in that house, that's what he lost, but you ain't gonna be getting no future payments. And again, the lawyers want a few $100,000 from your ass. So I'd go on and sell that joker so you can pay off everybody and move back in with your mama. You've been married twice and you still gonna have to move back in with your mama. Praz's sentencing was delayed for emergency colon cancer surgery. Damn, you got to deal with cancer and prison? Well, you created this yourself. If you wasn't trying to be an international secretive spy, the governments wouldn't have caught you. Governments, plural. K. Michelle secretly got married. So this will also make Housewives more interesting. Because if you gonna go at other heifers' relationships, we got to be able to talk about yours. We have to see what your utopia looks like. And he's no stranger to reality television because he apparently did marriage boot camp with her. Lisa Barlow slams Angie Castaneva's tequila collaboration as weak competition for Vida Tequila. You can't compete where you don't compare. She doubled down by calling herself an owner and not just a face. I mean, Lisa, comparing your face to Angie's, you'd never be a face, or at least just a face. You'd always have to bring way more to the table than that card, because it's declined. It's unserviceable. It's chipped. However, Kandi Burruss went on Kiki's podcast and said she will never speak to Phaedra again, and they've been in the same room and they just don't interact with each other. I wouldn't speak to her again either. I don't want to cover her on the show, but Bravo's welcomed her back and you've decided to move on. So I guess you're going to let her have that little check, although not so little because we see what Porsha's pulling in. And for that heifer to get on screen in some bushy wigs and say, I could do that for half the price. And I'd wear human hair, nothing acrylic like her. And finally, the Grande Dame is free. She left jail at 10 a.m. this morning and went right to glam. The nails were done, the hair is done, the outfit was a Potomac outfit, but she looked nice for her. She looked healthy. I wonder where she's heading. To a distillery or to a brewery? Let me know which one you think she's going to first, a distillery or a brewery. All right, well, those were today's top stories from this bottom. But I'll see you soon for Saucy Santana on Carlisp King. So tell a kin, tell a friend, tell that heifer you hate. She needs to know.